A couple days ago on December 1st, I released this chart analysis on Twitter discussing a pullback to 93,500. At the time, we were sitting at 96,200, and since then, we have played out this exact move down, and we touched prices that were almost exactly 93,500, just above it. So we have fulfilled that target, and now our consolidation is becoming very, very clear. Higher lows, lower highs, coming close to the pattern completion zone, which means Bitcoin is near completion of the pattern, meaning we'll probably get a huge push in the not so distant future. More likely to the upside, in my opinion. If this idea turns out to be correct, we've already fulfilled the first part. The second part would be further consolidation. And the third part would be a breakout to 100,000 or higher within the month of December. All of this and more in today's video. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today it is Tuesday, December 3rd, beginning of the week still, and Bitcoin is sitting at a really neutral point. We have consolidated currently at 95,500, which is pretty much smack in the middle of this consolidation range. This is the 4-hour chart, the 4-hour RSI, and the 4-hour MACD. The 4-hour RSI is still below our downward sloping resistance. If you're asking yourself, when is Bitcoin going to break out? How do I know if we're really starting to break out? Well, of course, there is the resistance line, and then there is also the RSI structure, which is one of my favorite indicators using RSI structure. And currently we have a very clear trend on the RSI. If Bitcoin's RSI is able to push up and break above this resistance, it would likely indicate that we are currently or about to break the resistance line of our consolidation. And a break of this pattern would result most likely in a push above 100,000. The reason why I say that is because with using the height of this pattern, from the high to the low. And then you can take this and extrapolate it out onto the potential breakout zone, which could be around 97,500. This breakout would actually take us up to possibly 108,000. Now, other textbooks would suggest that you actually take the entire flagpole, the strongest part of the uptrend, to the top of the pattern, and then extrapolate that and place it on the potential breakout zone. And that would actually send us way higher than most people expect. This does line up with the parabolic trend target right around 124,000. So that's interesting. Now, parabolic trends usually get very steep. They start quickening towards the high of the parabola. Actually, wouldn't be all too much of a surprise if we did have a run that sent us to a target that would be pretty much mind-blowing for everybody. Bitcoin always does the unexpected. And all the people right now that are saying, oh my God, Kevin's crazy. He's talking about the next major target being 124,000. That's just out of control, right? That's what a lot of people would think. But a lot of people thought my descending broadening wedge target was also too high from here to here. This descending broadening wedge, the target of that pattern, the height of that pattern landed us at 94,000. And we got there pretty fast. If you asked people in October, where do you think Bitcoin's going to be at the beginning of December? And if you said 95,000, they would have laughed at you. Same thing goes for right now. If we follow this textbook of, pennant formation, measure the flagpole, put it on the breakout zone, it's actually pretty much right around the parabolic trend target, 124,000. Now, that's not to say that it's expected to happen overnight, not at all. This straight line up drawing is a bit deceiving here. Bitcoin in theory could end up trading in this range for quite some time before actually running up to the final target. Bitcoin could run above 100 and get a pullback to current prices, trade into the parabolic trend line, and then punch up towards 124,000. Further consolidation above and below 100,000 is what I would expect after breaking 100. Looking at the textbook diagram for the parabolic trend, you can see that we are, in theory, around the zone of base 4. Base 4 is currently what we are forming. And it's hard to say exactly how it's going to play out. What is very clear about parabolic trends is that they usually meet the trend line, right? So base 4 would be punctuated or finalized after meeting the parabolic trend line. And in theory, that means if Bitcoin does break out soon, we could end up hitting prices above 100, consolidating, and then after meeting this trend line in the new year, punch up to 124. Bitcoin always surprises us. Maybe it goes there sooner. Overall, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin right now. I think that being bearish at this point in the cycle has never really been a good idea, at least not yet. So that's my general view on Bitcoin. Right now, Ethereum, this is sort of the one coin that hasn't seen a huge pump yet. No major new highs yet. So something is brewing here, in my opinion. I think Ethereum is going to surprise people. It always does. And it's usually around January of the year after the halving. The new year, January, is usually Ethereum's month to go ballistic. And we are in December. So I think going into January, from here into January, I'm very bullish on Ethereum. And I do think it's going to hit much higher levels and follow the rest of the market. We've already seen XRP, Solana, Dogecoin, Cardano. The other day, it was Chainlink. Chainlink was up massively. Chainlink is up 46% this week. One of the coins that we've discussed on this channel since 2018. It's always nice to see Chainlink making moves, but it's really strange because Ethereum is still lagging. So in my opinion, it's one of the better opportunities in the market right now. And I do think people are going to be shocked by what Ethereum does next. This is a really long-term formation that we have. Currently within the pattern completion zone, we are 70% or more of the way into this pattern, which means Ethereum is now completing this pattern, which means we could break out at any time according to the textbook. And when you're looking at your fibs on log scale, our first major fib target is the 1272 at 7,800. That is the first major fib target for Ethereum on a breakout. And this can happen a lot faster than people expect. Ethereum is very undervalued looking at the rest of the market and what's happening. And a lot of people disagree with that idea that Ethereum is undervalued, but Ethereum has 55.77% of the total value locked across all chains. And Tron is 8%, Solana is 7%. I mean, Ethereum is still the king of alts, right? Don't sleep on Ethereum in this cycle. It's likely going to have a major comeback. Solana has already hit new highs, and a lot of these coins have already done major runs. Ethereum is still waiting for its big mega pump. So in my opinion, it's coming within the next 2 months at the most, probably sooner. And also, I want to mention this indicator that I released, which is the total 3 versus Bitcoin, the altcoin versus Bitcoin heat map. This is showing the ratio of the market cap of all the altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, versus the Bitcoin market cap. And whenever the altcoin versus Bitcoin ratio reaches a 1-to-1, whenever the total 3, the market cap of the altcoins, whenever it's equal to Bitcoin, that is an overheated market. We're near the top. That is usually what it indicates. Happened here in 2017, 2018, and it happened here in 2021. Right now, this ratio has just started to make its run, its sprint. Because usually it goes up really fast. This ratio goes from its lows, the cool down zone, up to the overheated zone in a matter of months. In the last cycle, we did hang out up there for quite a long time, but it only took about, 20 weeks, you could say 40 weeks, 20 to 40 weeks for this thing to top out. So that means March, and then 40 weeks after, 40 weeks would be about July. So that means from now until March, Q2, Q3, this ratio is going to be making a sprint most likely into a 1-to-1 ratio against Bitcoin, which means most of the altcoin gains have not even been seen yet. Some of the high caps have started running. A lot of the low caps have not started running yet. The overall altcoin market is still undervalued, just coming out of the cool down zone, right? This was 2021. We're just getting that V bottom right now. The sprint has begun. The altcoins are starting to gain momentum, and it's going to be a huge next few months for the alts. So I hope you guys are prepared for that. Just wanted to show you the altcoin versus Bitcoin ratio, which is available on TradingView. But be ready to take profits in the coming 6 months or so, because a lot of them will be making huge gains from now until then. But you don't want to be caught in the bear market holding bags once again, right? Don't make the same mistakes as last cycles. And when it comes to taking profit, there is an indicator that I released called the Bitcoin halving cycle profit. If you go to Ethereum, you can see that even Ethereum is also usually topping around the 80th week. So you get the halving, 40 weeks. It's sort of the beginning of, or sort of like a warning that the profit zone has begun. You know, this move right here doesn't look like much, but it was a 70% pullback, 67%. Imagine your portfolio drops 70%. If you're holding alts, you can expect that type of a moment at some point in the cycle. Your portfolio will go way down and it'll feel like all is lost. And that usually happens right before the biggest run of the cycle. Same thing over here, 2021. You had the same type of thing right after the 40th week, 60% down. If you're holding alts, your portfolio is down 60, 70%. Swift move down right before the biggest run of the cycle. And right now we are not even at the 40th week. But there is likely going to be, if we do start to run up here, there's likely going to be an all is lost moment. It's going to feel like all is lost. Portfolios getting crushed before the biggest run of the cycle going into the 80th week. So that is usually how it is for the alts. The altcoins usually have their biggest pumps towards the end of the cycle when there's the most excitement and the most energy and the most speculators. That's where altcoins have their biggest runs. But once all the speculators are in, that means they're all fully invested and the market can't go up anymore and it has to dump. And that usually happens 80 weeks after the halving. And we are still not even at the 40th week, which means we have a lot of time left, a lot of gains to make. So hang in there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash the like, subscribe to this channel. Be sure to join Patreon if you want to get extra content. I'll see you guys in the next video.